Hello, my name is Christopher Tomko. I'm the Information Systems Officer at Archway Station, and this is the mobile timesheet tutorial. On the screen now is my contact information as well as my assistant Mike Montague. I do recommend, however, that if you need tech support, that you email ithelp@archwaystation.net, simply because that way either one of us can get the email if the other one is out. Now you see on your screen a URL address to the latest version of the mobile timesheet. You should download the latest version each time that you submit. So every pay you're going to want to make sure that you go to this site and download the timesheet again. Otherwise you may get an outdated version. Okay, I want to start off with an apology. This is not scripted, so I am going to make mistakes. I'm going to stutter and stammer and things like that. So if you can bear with me, I'll try to get through this. Hopefully I won't confuse you too much. So to start out, you'll notice I've already downloaded the timesheet. It's sitting on my desktop. So you double click that. Now, if you would get a message that says, click here to enable the timesheet, there's going to be a box. Actually, let me see if I can show you that. I'm going to exit out of this and try this again. All right, let me try this again here. All right, so when I double click on that, now you're going to see, this is what you'll probably see the first time because it does contain macros. It is a VBA application in Excel. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you enable macros. So click Enable Content. Then you'll get to this. And you'll notice the last name. You can scroll down and select your last name. Your name. Let's see. You can type it out like that. And it'll bring it up. Hopefully you folks in Garrett County will be in here when you see this, but I doubt you will be. You will be though when the next pay occurs. So there is no password or anything like that for logging into the timesheet remotely. Again, this is just a mobile version, so you just click OK. You are going to want to read through this and make sure you understand it. If you for some reason you're not online, this will not work. You have to have internet access because at the end this is going to email a copy of this to Kim, our fiscal person. And let's see, doing your own timesheet. All right, and you'll notice there's a link right here. So if you're not sure you have the latest timesheet, if you click on that, it's going to take you to right here. And then you just click on this to download the timesheet. So I clicked on that, and you'll notice it goes into my downloads. And then I can move it wherever I want to from there. All right, so at that point, click OK. And you're presented with the timesheet, and you can scroll up and down. If you'll notice up here in the left-hand corner, you can select your home team here. So this is the team that you work for. So I work for IT, or Information Systems. So I'm going to select IS. Now, the pay period ending is just like it says, the end of the pay period. You have the month here, so 6, and I'm just going to put 1 for the day. The year will populate automatically. Click Set Date, and if you'll notice now, the dates have populated all the way down for the 2-week period. The next thing is the location worked. So let's say that I work on a Monday, or I worked on May 20th, and let's say I worked for my home team, Information Systems. I don't need to touch this column. I can leave it exactly as it is. The 3 dashes right here. So I'm going to go ahead and say I worked 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, you can tab through this. I'm just going to click on it just because you're less likely to make mistakes if you click on it instead of just tabbing through it. Let's say on Tuesday I subbed for whatever reason. I don't ever sub, but let's say I subbed on admin. I'm going to go ahead and select admin, and then I'm going to select, I don't know, 8 a.m. Let's say I only worked to 11 a.m. Now you'll notice this column always defaults to PM. So you're going to want to make sure you change that to AM, but I'm going to leave it alone for later on and show you why. Because this will you'll be able to catch it quickly if you make the mistake and you look things over. So now let's say that I worked a split shift this day, again for admin, and I came in, I don't know, 1 o'clock. So I had to leave for a couple hours. I go back in, select admin. I came back in at 1 o'clock, and I worked till 6. So that would be for a split shift, which sometimes can happen. All right, now let's say I need to change this to, let's say for whatever reason I worked at Garrett County. I worked on Garrett County's Kaya team for whatever reason. And I'm not sure what to select here, because if you notice, you scroll down, these are the Garrett counties right here, the G's. Very cryptic. So if you'll hover over location worked, it displays double click to view the legend, double click, and if you'll notice as you scroll down, Garrett County Kaya is G35. So click exit, change this to G35. Let's say I worked 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for whatever reason. All right, now on the next day, I worked for IT, I worked for information, so I'm not going to change the location worked. And let's say I worked, I don't know, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the round rule. There's a round up, round down. These are all in quarter hours, 15-minute increments. So let's say I started at 8:07. In other words, I was 7 minutes late. I round down to 8 a.m. So from 7 minutes or less, so 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever, rounds down to 8. Let's say I didn't start till 8:10 a.m. All right, from 8 minutes up, you round up. So if I got here at 8:10, I'd round it to 8:15. So again, 7 minutes, round down. 7 minutes or less, round down. 8 minutes or up, round up. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you is the other column. The other column is where you would enter your holiday, vacation, personal, sick, other. And the only two that you can do are on-call and jury duty. Those are your others right now. There's been others, but that's the only two right now. So we're going to say we did on-call. And this is always going to be 1 because you're paid a stipend for on-call. So if you worked 6 hours on-call, you don't put 6 in here. You only put 1. So I worked 1 hour on-call. Click OK. It populates it with an O to say I was on call that day. All right. Now, if you have to come in, so if I get called in for 2 hours, let's say I got called in at 10 a.m., then I just put my time in here on this. Notice there's 2 lines for the split shift, 10 a.m. to 2 hours, like I said, till noon. And then that's good to go. And then let's say on Monday down here on the 27th, I had personal time. So I clicked personal. Let's say I worked 8 hours. Again, the 1 only applies to other on-call. And I'm going to back up again because I actually made a mistake. As I had said, I'm going to make them. But I'll explain it as soon as I'm done this. So let's say I worked 8 hours of personal time. So now it populates with a P, vacation a V, etc. Now on Tuesday, let's say I had jury duty. This is different from on call. So if you remember on call, it's always going to be a 1, always, because you're paid a 1 hour stipend, or actually a 1 hour, one specific set stipend. So if it's $20 an hour, 15, whatever, that's all you're going to get paid for being on call. And then if you work, as I showed you up here, then you'll enter the time in that you worked. So let's say we're doing jury duty though. And I had jury duty on this Tuesday, and I was there, let's say 10 hours. So I click OK. And it's going to put another O because it's other. Jury is considered other. On Wednesday, I had another jury duty. So I click other. Put 10 hours. Now I have 2 jury days that are listed for that week. So, and if you'll notice, the hours worked are not populated yet. The weekly totals, none of that. That'll happen down here at the bottom. So let's scroll down here. And you're going to want to click calculate. You'll notice that it is telling you 3 categories. Funeral doesn't exist, so just ignore that. Jury duty and on call. So click OK. And remember, we had 2 days of jury duty, 20 hours of jury duty pay. Now, remember, we pay for jury duty, so you're going to want to, put that in here, and then that way you get paid for 20 hours of jury duty. And then on call, we had 1 day, 1 hour. Again, if we work 2 days, it'd be 2 days, 2 hours. 1 hour for each day. Again, a 1 hour stipend for each day, but we only did 1. So we're going to click calculate. Again, after we fill that in, because you'll notice submit and print are grayed out. Until you calculate and complete this, you can't do either one. So I click OK, and now it's going to prompt about double checking everything, and also being careful if you keep, you can resubmit as much as you want. If you keep resubmitting, Kim's going to get bombarded with emails. So try to look it over the first time and make sure that it's correct and you're not submitting multiple times. If you notice, print's still grayed out while submit's available because you can't print till you've submitted. But this is a good time before you submit to go back up here, take a look at your hours, your weekly totals, make sure everything looks right. And immediately I see some things wrong here. Those numbers are really high, and I know I didn't work that much. So let's take a look. Remember when I said here I worked 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.? I forgot to change that. And 1 a.m. to 6 p.m., no, that I was a split shift. That was 1 p.m. to 6 a.m. Again, they default to a.m. and p.m., so you're going to want to look at that closely. So then I continue to get down here and look and make sure everything's good. And then I go ahead and click calculate again to process my changes. And now if you notice when you come up, there we go. That looks right. Split shift 3 and 5. And then let's see. I scroll down, total hours. And then you see down here, personal hours, I picked 8. You have 21 because you have 20 jury duties and then 1 on call. And then so everything looks right. Let's go ahead and click calculate one last time. And then we're ready. We have everything. We've looked everything over. Click submit. And it's going to tell you that you need to enter the last 4 digits of your social. and then type your name. This is kind of an e-signature. Click yes, and then last 4 digits of your social. And of course I typed my name wrong. And let's see. Click e-sign. And this is just an attestation that you are the person completing this. Click yes. It'll go through the submission process. Now it's emailing a copy to Kim, our payroll person. And then now you see it's been sent, and it recommends saving a copy for yourself. And you can do that by printing it. So click OK, and then come back here and you see print. I do recommend you print a copy either to PDF, which is what I'm going to do. Yes, I want to print. So, or you can print a paper copy, whichever you prefer. So click OK. Calculations were completed again. All right. Now, I prefer to have a folder that I use called Timesheets, and then I just put the date of the timesheet, and then click Save. I'm going to overwrite whatever that was. Yeah, I want to replace that. All right, so it's printed. Now, before I exit out, because once you exit out, all these entries will be gone. So don't exit until you know your timesheet is correct. If for some reason it fails to email, print a copy out if it lets you do that. It may not. Again, make sure you have internet access before you do this. All right, open it up. You can see it was e-signed by me. Pay period ending, the default team, all the locations I worked if it wasn't on my default team. Holiday hours, all that stuff looks good. So I'm good. So now I can exit out of the timesheet. Yes, I want to exit, and it's going to prompt me, did you remember to submit? Because you'll lose your data that you've entered in. Yes, I submitted. And that's it. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Again, my email address on the screen. And hope this was helpful. Have a great day.